Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a king and queen. Each and every day, they cried to each other, "I wish we had a child of our own." Yet none ever came. One day, the queen was walking in the palace gardens when she heard a curious sound. Who made the sound? Tap on things to find out. It's a magical frog.
Now I can make your wish come true. Don't worry, you don't have to kiss me.
The magic frog's promise soon came true. A year later, the queen had a beautiful baby girl. The king was so delighted, he jumped for joy. The queen gazed down at her baby. Its cheeks were as pink as the briar rose bushes in her garden. When the magic frog's promise soon came true. A year later, the queen had a beautiful baby girl. The king was so delighted, he jumped for joy. The queen gazed down at her baby. Its cheeks were as pink as the briar rose bushes in her garden. "Let's call her Briar Rose," she said. When Briar Rose reached her 3rd birthday, the king wanted to celebrate with a great feast. "We should invite all the fairies," said the queen. "You can never have enough fairy godmothers." The king was so excited, he forgot to invite one of the fairies. It was a terrible mistake. This fairy was famous for her bad temper. While the other fairies got dressed for the party, she wove a wicked spell. Let's dress the fairies for the party. Choose a dress, pick some shoes, then add a pretty hat.
Not my usual style, but why not?
Do you think it's me?
That's a new look for me.
What an interesting choice. Well, that's different. Well done. All the fairies are ready for the party. On the day of the feast, the sun shone brightly and the birds sang merrily in the trees. Little Briar Rose couldn't wait for her party. Guests flocked to the castle from far and wide. Suddenly, the queen pointed out of the window and cried, "Look!" The princess watched in wonder as twinkling lights floated towards the castle. The fairies were coming. The guests were shown to the great hall. Trumpets sounded a joyful fanfare, and the feast began. The king was very happy. His stomach was starting to rumble. What a party it was! The little princess squealed in delight as dancers span and acrobats leapt. Then it was time for the fairy godmothers to give the little princess their magical gifts. What would they be? Let's give the princess her birthday presents. I give you beauty. Thank you. I give you love. I love it. I give you happiness. That's wonderful. I give you music. Oh, it's the Wicked Fairy! In flew the Wicked Fairy. With a face as black as thunder, she shrieked, "Here is my gift for Briar Rose! On her 16th birthday, the princess will prick herself on a spinning wheel and sleep forever!" Cackling with laughter, the Wicked Fairy flew out into the night. "Bring me my horse!" shouted the king. Jumping into the saddle, he galloped after her. Help the king catch the Wicked Fairy. Tap his horse to make it jump. You can't catch me! And that was the last the king saw of the Wicked Fairy. "What are we going to do?" sobbed the queen. Just then, the last fairy godmother, who had not yet given her gift, stepped forward. "Fear not," she said. "I can soften the power of the Wicked Fairy's magic. Your daughter will not sleep forever. Instead, the princess and everyone else in the castle will sleep for 100 years. Then, a kiss from her true love can wake the princess and break the spell." Over the years, one by one, the good fairy's promises came true. Briar Rose grew to be beautiful, kind, and full of grace. She was loved by everyone who met her. The king still hoped to save his daughter from the Wicked Fairy's spell. On his orders, every spinning wheel in the kingdom was destroyed. Move the king around the maze.
Aha! Aha!
I hope my little princess is safe now.
Aha! Aha!
No one ever told the princess about the wicked fairy's curse. The king and queen did not want her to worry or be sad. The years flew by. When Briar Rose was nearly 16, the king decided to celebrate with a ball. On the morning of her birthday, the princess woke early. She was very excited. Putting on her rose-pink ball dress and rose-pink dancing shoes, Briar Rose went for a wander around the castle. After a while, the princess came to a part of the castle she had never visited before. At the end of a long corridor, she spied a glowing light. Briar Rose followed the light up a narrow, winding staircase. Could it be one of the fairies? Up and up she climbed until finally the princess came to a large stone door. "Would you like to come in?" said the door. It could talk. "To open the door, listen to each tune, then play it yourself." "Now it's your turn." Pretty good. Here's another one. Go on, give it a try. That's great. Now copy this tune. Okay, now you have a go. You're getting better. Just one lock more to go. Okay, now you have a go. Wow, that was perfect. Do come in. What's that? The heavy door ground open. Inside, an old lady sat hunched over a spinning wheel. Briar Rose had never seen such a thing before. She wanted to have a go herself. "Dear lady," asked the princess softly, "what are you doing?" "Why, child, I'm spinning," answered the old lady. The wheel buzzed as it span. The old lady tapped her foot and hummed a tune in time with it. "How prettily the wheel turns," said the princess. "Would you like to try?" said the old lady, offering Briar Rose her stool. "This magic wheel will spin a picture of your true love." The princess sat down and began to spin. Turn the wheel to spin a picture. Too grumpy. One more go. Yuck! A slimy frog. Hop it. A handsome prince. Now that's more like it. span, the wool got stuck. When she leaned over to free it, the old lady gave her a gentle push. "Ouch!" cried the princess, pricking her finger. In the blink of an eye, she fell into a deep sleep.
Sweet dreams.
Cackled the old lady. It was the wicked fairy in disguise. With a wave of her wand, she vanished in a puff of purple smoke. Everyone else in the castle fell asleep too, just as the fairy godmother had promised. The king and queen slumped in their thrones. A waiter nodded off with a stack of plates in his arms, and a maid fell asleep clutching her broom. The horses fell asleep in the stable, and the dog and cat snoozed in the kitchen. Even the spiders dozed on their webs. Apart from some rather loud snores, all was quiet, and while everyone slept, the fairy godmothers kept the castle clean. Let's help the fairies mop the floor, clean the table, and dust the cobwebs. Let's help the fairies mop the floor, clean the table, and dust the cobwebs. Great job! Now the castle is sparkling clean. A giant hedge of thorns grew up around the castle. Each year, it became higher and thicker, until at last the castle was hidden from the world. Countless princes tried bravely to cut through the hedge. All were forced to turn back by the sharp thorns. Many, many years went by. The castle was all but forgotten. Then one day, a prince from a distant kingdom heard the story of the Sleeping Beauty and the enchanted castle. The prince was determined to free the sleeping princess from the spell. Stepping boldly up to the wall of thorns, he raised his sword. At that very moment, the 100 years ended. The thorns turned into flowers. Magically, a path appeared before the prince. Tap the correct rose to find the path to the sleeping beauty.
Now I must find the sleeping princess.
Inside the castle, everything was just as it had been 100 years before. The prince tiptoed past the sleeping guards at the gate, the dog and cat snoozing in the kitchen, and the king and queen slumped in their thrones. The prince gasped when he saw the sleeping princess. She looked so beautiful. The prince bent down and gave Briar Rose a gentle kiss. She opened her eyes and smiled at the handsome face looking down at her. And with that kiss, the spell was broken. The spell is broken. Tap on everyone to wake them up. Now the whole castle is awake. When they awoke, the king and queen looked at each other in surprise. The dog in the kitchen jumped up and barked, and the maid carried on with her sweeping. That evening, the prince and princess danced the night away. It was love at first sight. When they awoke, the king and queen looked at each other in surprise. The dog in the kitchen jumped up and barked, and the maid carried on with her sweeping. That evening, the prince and princess danced the night away. It was love at first sight. Not long after, they were married and lived happily ever after.